I'm corn fed. Today we're going to be tying the Tungsten Parrot Nymph. This is a great nymph to fish early in the day through mid-morning. It's a great nymph for fishing caddisfly when it's in its transition phase between larva and pupa. So we're going to be using a Dairiki number 135 scud hook in a size 16 with a gold tungsten 7/64 bead. We're also going to be using some small copper wire, small mylar tinsel, and some natural pheasant tail. And then we're going to be using some squirrel SLF spiky dubbing. And then to top it off, we'll be using some fluorescent orange ultra thread. So check it out. Okay, we're going to start by tying in slightly above the point of the hook, and we're going to tie back down to the beginning of the bend of the hook, clip off our tag end. Now we're going to tie in some small mylar tinsel coming off the back. Then we are going to add a piece of small gold wire, tie it in the same way as we did the tinsel, wrap back. Now we're going to add five or six strands of natural pheasant tail. We're going to tie them in going forward, tying up to the point where we began. Snip off our tag end off the front here, and then make a couple wraps to secure it. Now be very careful when you're wrapping these forward. We're going to wrap these forward all the way to the point where our thread's at. Pheasant tail tends to break sometimes, so just keep that in mind. Just keep wrapping on up until we hit that point on our thread. And then tie it down and make a couple good securing wraps and snip off our tag end. Now make a couple wraps back on top of it, and now we are going to rib the body. Ooh, a little piece of pheasant tail broke there, just snip that off. We're going to rib the body with that small copper wiring first. We're going to make anywhere from 3 to 4 segments here, and then just tie that off. Cut our tag, and then we're going to follow with some mylar tinsel here. Actually follow your copper wiring, but go in front of the wire. This adds a little flash to the body. Bring that up and tie it off and trim it. Now I'm gonna check to make sure I'm not crowding the eye of my hook here, because I'm gonna be bringing that bead back a little bit. Now I'm going to tie in a small dubbing loop with just a dubbing hook or a dubbit tool, whatever you have will work just fine. Now I'm going to take a little small amount of spiky squirrel natural here, and I'm going to put it in that dubbing loop. And you don't need too much here, so don't get too much, you'll begin to crowd yourself. Then I'm just going to twist my dubbing loop. Twist it till it's good and tight and those spiky fibers start flaring out. Maybe pull them out just a little bit there. And then I'm going to make 1.5 to 2 wraps of the dubbing loop here. We'll make 1.5, yeah, right there. Kind of tease those fibers out a little bit more. This is going to kind of act as our bubble a little bit here. Then we're going to secure that down and tie it off. That'll kind of act as our bubble and sort of our transition phase to a caddis pupa. And then make a couple of good wraps here so I can snug that bead good and tight up on that dubbing. And then I'm actually going to tie off using just a 4-turn, 5-turn whip finish here. trim that thread, and now I'm going to actually pull that bead back, and I'm gonna create a thread dam here using a jam knot. Really get that back there. This is gonna be my beak part of my parrot. Really get that back on there. Dubbing. Snip off our tag. Push it back just a little more. Now I'm just gonna make a nice thread dam here so that bead is held in place and make a nice little beak. Just secure it with a few wraps, and then just gonna tie it off using again another 4 or 5 turn whip finish, the whip finish tool. Pretty simple fly, but very effective during early mornings when those caddis larvae are transitioning into that pupa phase. Kind of tease out these fibers and kind of pull some of that loose stuff off, and that is a finished bead-headed parrot nymph.